know, sometimes you've got a situation and it hasn't gone the way you want it to go, and you look at it and you think, what have I done wrong here? Okay, well, I don't like confessing to things on the farm. Hardly anybody likes owning up to it, but I've been looking at this here recently, and I've been checking on the slow and low rate of grass growth, thinking, where on earth have I gone wrong with this? So the way I farm here is I talk to the old boys who used to farm here years ago, and I ask them, you know, for wisdom and insight from the years gone by, and then I try and go to the science and have a look at that. And well, to be honest, what the old boys say is, you can reckon every year, however bad the winter is, whatever's going on, you can reckon that by May the 1st, you're turning out. So sort your silage, sort your winter fodder out, your straw and everything else, reckoning by 1st of May, you'll be turning out. This year, no chance. And it leaves me with no grass growth, watching people on the fertile land, the moist land down in the bottom of the Towie Valley, thinking, how are they cutting silage now? And I'm not even looking at enough grass growth here to put sheep on. What on earth have I done wrong? Well, I'm afraid the answer is pretty obviously nothing, because it's the same all around me here, and anybody who's done anything up here will know any new grass reseeds you put in, nothing's come up, and anything you're looking at, any lay you're looking at from last year that you grazed last year and then you left, like I've done with this field here, it's species rich pasture. It's not Italian ryegrass or anything that's going to leap away, but you know, really by now we should be looking at a lot of grass growth and a lot of rare flowers and bits and bobs that come up in this. And for some reason this year it hasn't gone the way we wanted it to, and we're looking at what we are. Well, the trouble is, there's always plenty of people around who'll say, well, no, it's not your fault, you know, you can't be blamed, it's nothing you've done. There's also the other lot that say, well, you don't know what you're doing, you know, grass, you should have done this, you should have done that, you should have done the other thing. And the only thing you can do when you think something's going not the right way and you wonder, well, have I done something wrong? All you can do is try and test it to find out. So basically what we do is we come out here of an evening and we have a look around and we say, right, we're going to take one of these things. Now this is a special bit of kit. I'll show you what this does now if I can get it into this hardened ground. What it does, you push it in like this. Right. I don't know if you can see, but what it does is it goes down in the ground and it gives you a soil sample. There's a cutter on the end there, you see. So you just push that in the ground with your foot like that, and you take a sample and you walk on across the field over that way, and you take another one, another one, another one. So you average out across the field, so you're not getting just, you know, the odd anomaly, something wrong here or there, but not in the general picture. You even it out. You go around, you have a good look, you go right across the field, you test to see if you've done something wrong, if you haven't done something to the field you should have done, or whether you've done something you really shouldn't have done, to see why something's gone wrong, why it isn't growing the way it should. You test to see if you have made a mistake. You don't just go by rumour or people who don't really know. You try, you test, you look into it, and you find out, because you can't afford for it to go wrong. Evening's a great time for doing this in the summer. You can see around me it's beautiful. You can probably hear the noise pollution from the birds all around, and it's a great time to just get out here with the truck and have a look around and see what's happening and try and test the soil. Well, look, I mean, there are times when we think perhaps things are not going right for us in our lives because we might have done something wrong, and you've got to be careful about that, because well, always there's plenty of people around who will say, no, it's not your fault, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. Well, perhaps you have been a bit stupid, and there's also people around who say, well, you should have done this, you should have done that, you should have, you know, and you know, God's judging you. You know, there's people like that out there at the moment, especially with COVID around, and they're taking that view. Well, you know, if you think something's not going right, the thing to do is to look into it. So when something's gone wrong and it's not the way it ought to be, people start asking, is this the judgment of God? Come on, Rev, what is it? Is this what this thing we got going on now, this COVID-19 thing, is that down to God? Is he angry with us? What's going on? Well, look, hang on, boys, slow down a minute. It's like when you've got something wrong with your field. You better go and have a check, innit? Go and have a look in the book. You've got the answers you need. They're in the book, right? Go and have a look in the book and examine yourself. Jesus is very clear about that. He says, don't go pointing the finger at other people, but look at yourself. And he does it in Luke 13. There'd been a natural disaster, in the sense that there was a building that fell down on a load of people. And people were asking, is it because they're terrible people? Jesus said, no, they're no worse than anybody else. But, you know, it's right to ask the question, isn't it? And then there were some other people they'd been massacred. Some nasty ruler had done a nasty thing to them. And Jesus says, no, it's not their sin either. But when these things come along, you ask yourself. And Jesus says, no, this didn't come on them because of their sin, but he says, unless you repent, you too will all perish. He says, go and look at yourself. If you think something's happening, something isn't going right, and maybe something wrong has been done, and there may be some link between the two by some manner of means, go and have a think. You yourself. Don't just run away from the issue. Don't do what the people in the book of Ruth did. Famine came on them, and they just ran instead of repenting. Well, you know, God is always there. If God's missing out of your life, it's not God that's moved, it's you, right? And, you know, go back to him. Don't run from him, run to him. If you think there's an issue, check it out in yourself. Don't take it for granted there is a problem. Don't take it for granted there isn't. We're supposed to go and look and think and work it through. And that's what we do with our field. So why don't we do it with ourselves? Well, look, there's the thought for the day. The psalmist says, Lord, test me and know me. See if there is any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. And if you're getting worried about whether this is the judgment of God with COVID and everything else, or whether you're going to people who are saying, oh, don't even think about it, don't even think that. Well, look, that's not the way. Be realistic, look at the evidence, work it through, sort it out, and then, you know, any day is a good day to come back to God, right? Any day. No man is worse off for doing that. You'll be a better person for that, not a worse. Try me, search me and know me, test me, see if there's any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting.